Have you ever done something you knew you shouldn't, but the curiosity was just too strong to ignore? That's exactly what happened to me one afternoon in England. Right next to my old apartment building stood this massive, abandoned hotel. It was a 6-story monster that had been decaying for years, a local landmark of urban decay. One day, my cousin, my sister, and I decided we had to see what was inside. The hotel was fenced off, but the fence was a joke rusted, broken, with huge gaps we could easily slip through. The moment we stepped onto the property, the vibe shifted. It was heavy, oppressive. Inside, the place was a wreck. There were what looked like bloodstains on the doors. Every window was shattered, and the rooms were trashed, clearly having been used as a squat for a long time. The air itself felt thick, almost like the building was warning us to get out. We made our way around to the back and found a patch of dead, yellow grass and a dilapidated old shed. We didn't even want to get close to it. It just radiated this creepy energy. That's when we heard a sharp, rhythmic, metallic sound, like someone was sharpening a knife on a stone, over and over again. We didn't hesitate. We booked it back toward the hotel's rear entrance. The second we opened that back door, this overwhelming stench hit us. It was the smell of decay, of something rotten and dead. It was disgusting, but our fear pushed us forward, up the stairs to the first floor, and that's where we made our biggest mistake. We split up. I wandered into a room that must have been a library or an office. It was filled with old shelves, moldy books, and broken furniture. In the far corner stood a large, imposing wardrobe. As I stared at it, I heard a faint, rhythmic sound. Tap, 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 tap. Asterisk. It sounded like long fingernails tapping on wood. My blood ran cold when I realized the sound was coming from Asterisk, inside Asterisk the closet. I didn't wait to find out what was in there. I bolted out of the room, sprinted down the hallway, and practically flew down the stairwell. My cousin and sister saw the pure terror on my face and started running too. No questions asked. I tripped and fell hard on the stairs, scraping my leg badly. But the adrenaline was pumping so hard I barely felt it. When we finally burst out of the front entrance and into the sunlight, I made one final mistake premeditated buck, and I saw her. Standing in the darkness of the doorway was a woman, maybe in her 20s, with long, stringy black hair and tattered clothes. She was just watching us from the shadows. In that moment, I knew we hadn't been alone in there. When I got home and cleaned myself up, I looked at the cut on my leg. It was bleeding pretty badly, but the scrape wasn't just a random gash. It had formed the distinct shape of a smiley face. I'd never been a believer in the paranormal, but that day changed everything. That hotel was eventually torn down, and shiny new apartments stand there now. But the memory of that night, and the feeling that something followed me home, still haunts me. Thanks for listening, and if you have your own creepy stories, share them in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Stay safe out there.